Today on Cook's Country, Ashley makes a show-stopping blueberry cream pie. And I explain why blue foods are so rare. Adam shares our recommended Sporks and travel utensil sets. And Bridget makes Julia sweet tea fried chicken. That's all right here on Cook's Country.
I love blueberry pie, and guess what? So do you, because blueberry pie is ranked annually in the top 5 pies in America. But I think we can do better than 5. Let's raise this to number 1. And Ashley's here. She's got just the right blueberry pie recipe.
You better believe it. This pie is all about the blueberries. And not just any blueberries. The peak summertime blueberries that you find at the road stands. Oh my gosh, you can't get anything better than that. So we're gonna use a graham cracker crust for this. This is 12 graham crackers that I've torn into pieces. But what's more important is the weight. So this is 6.5 ounces total. Now, different brands have different weights per cracker.
Okay.
So I'm gonna process this for 30 seconds until the graham crackers are finely ground. All right. So this is 2 tablespoons of sugar, and I've got just a pinch of salt. And I'm just gonna give this 3 pulses just to combine everything.
Okay.
And finally, just to bring it all together, I've got 6 tablespoons of unsalted butter that's been melted.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this 8 pulses. I'm gonna transfer the graham crackers to our 9-inch pie plate. All right, I'm gonna use the bottom of this dry 1-cup measure, and the dry cup measure is gonna help to evenly disperse the graham crackers throughout the pie plate. And then once it gets nice and even on the sides, I'm gonna use my thumb just to guide it along. And I'm packing it pretty firmly. All right, Bridget, that is looking pretty good. And I'm gonna actually bake the crust first before we go any further with the blueberry filling.
Okay.
I've got an oven preheated to 325 degrees, and I'm gonna bake this for 16 to 18 minutes until the pie crust is getting to brown. Now let's move on to the filling while the crust is baking. I'm gonna process 2 cups of these blueberries for about 2 minutes until they are totally smooth. I think we're in good shape, but let me just go back in. Yep, let's move on down to the stovetop. So this is a 1/2 cup of sugar. This is 4 teaspoons of cornstarch and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
Okay.
I'm just gonna whisk this together. You'll notice that I don't have the heat on at this point. I'm gonna put this strainer right over the saucepan because that's gonna help to collect the skins and any of the seeds, so it's gonna be a smoother texture.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna use the whisk, help push the blueberries through the strainer. So still off heat. I'm just gonna whisk this now just to combine everything before I turn the heat on. Now I'm gonna turn the heat to medium, and I'm gonna bring this filling to a simmer.
Okay.
And you wanna be sure just to whisk this while the filling is coming up to a simmer.
Okay.
We are at 1 minute, and that is looking perfect. Now off the heat, I'm gonna add a little bit of lemon juice. That's 1 tablespoon. Almost done. I'm gonna reserve 2 tablespoons for the topping. All right, so we are done here. The last thing I need to do is add a few more blueberries. This is 2 3/4 cups of blueberries. We're gonna have that really amazing velvety soft blueberry filling. So good. All right, so this is done at this stage. I'm gonna go check on the crust, then we're gonna move on to the topping.
Sounds great.
Here is our crust, beautifully baked, and now it's time to add the filling. All right, I'm just gonna put this into an even layer here. We're gonna take this to the next level. We're gonna be adding a little bit of cream cheese to the topping, and it's gonna make your brain think that you're eating a blueberry cheesecake. So this is 8 ounces of softened cream cheese, and I've got a 1/4 cup of sugar, and a little bit of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon. And now the first step here is I'm going to whisk this cream cheese for about 2 minutes until it's super smooth.
Okay.
Step 1
All right.
is done. I'm just gonna wipe down the bowl one more time. So with this mixer running, I'm gonna add 1 cup of some chilled heavy cream. I lowered the speed just a little bit just to make sure it didn't splash up at us.
I really appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right, now I'm gonna slowly increase it, just to medium high. And I'm gonna let this go for about 1 to 3 minutes. I'm gonna be looking for stiff peaks.
Okay.
That's a stiff peak if I ever saw one.
That is stiff peak.
So I've got a piping bag. It's with a fitted closed star tip. If you don't have a piping bag, no worries. We've got instructions for how to use a substitute on our website.
Perfect.
Now we've got the reserved blueberry mixture from earlier. Again, that's 2 tablespoons. All right, so I folded it over. Now I'm going to go in and just use a regular table knife and going all the way down into the star tip. I'm gonna work the filling all the way up. I'm gonna make 3 stripes in total. Now this next part feels a little wrong, but it's right. I'm gonna load up the spatula with the filling here, and I'm gonna just flop it on in. You don't want it to really bring down the streaks of that filling.
Gotcha. Just plopping it in the middle as best you can. Gotcha.
And it's perfect. I'm using this glass just to kind of collect anything that would have spilled out. Getting all the air out as much as possible. I'm gonna turn this over, right side up, and twist, twist, twist. Okay, so now we're gonna be making some rosettes. I'm gonna go into the center and make 3 rosettes first.
How pretty.
Isn't that awesome? Because of the stripes along the side.
Oh, how pretty is that?
Isn't it pretty? There isn't enough room for me to make more rosettes. So I've got this beautiful star tip. I'm gonna go in there and just squeeze ever so gently and make some stars.
Oh, love it.
I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator for a minimum of 4 hours, but it can hang out in there for up to 24 hours.
Oh, that's handy. We'll get you right back to the video. Check out Cook's Country's newest book, The Complete Cook's Country TV Show Cookbook. Over 16 seasons and more than 600 recipes are condensed into this cookbook, jam-packed with every recipe we feature on the show, plus stories, tips, and reviews. Go on the road with Cook's Country and tour the U.S. through food. Get inspired by dishes from restaurants, regions, and chefs all over America. All in this one convenient cookbook. To order your copy of the Complete Cook's Country TV Show Cookbook, scan the QR code or visit cookscountry.com to continue your Cook's Country journey.
Most of the blue we see in nature is a reflection, rather than a pigment inherent to the thing itself. So while blue is a very common color, it is uncommon in food. One theory is that this rareness makes blue food unappetizing, something we subconsciously associate with mold or even poison. But looked at another way, maybe that rarity is exactly what makes blue food special or exciting. Take, for example, blue raspberry, the electric blue, sweet flavoring found in slushies, popsicles, and candy. How did blue and raspberry, 2 things with no connection in nature, become one flavor? In 1976, the synthetic red dye that was commonly used for raspberry flavoring was officially banned as a carcinogen. In response to the controversy, the Cincinnati-based carnival supplier Gold Medal decided to stop using the red dye. Instead, they paired all their raspberry flavoring with blue dye, creating a new blue raspberry flavor for snow cones and cotton candy. Why, you may ask, didn't they just rebrand the flavor as blueberry? Well, blueberries weren't as popular back then as they are now, and if you think about it, even blueberries aren't blue, they're purple. Here at Cook's Country, we're embracing the blue anyway, in our beautiful blueberry cream pie.
That was a long 4 hours.
It was really long.
Really long.
Yeah.
But it's an important step because you want everything to cool down. It's going to be much easier to slice this way.
Okay, sold.
All right, so I like to use a boning knife. There we go. Perfect.
All right. It's spectacular. All right. First bite, got a little bit of everything, a little bit of crust, a little bit of cream cheese topping, and a lot of blueberry. Best part, where to start,
I
right?
know.
But that jammy filling, you get a pop of fresh blueberry. Gorgeous, because that was only in that saucepan, just for a minute.
I can really taste the lemon juice too. Not overpowering, it just gives a little bit of acidity to balance everything out.
It sure does. That topping is ethereal. And I know we kind of bypassed the crust a little bit, but it actually is the perfect pairing here. Ashley, this was a masterpiece. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
You're very welcome.
You gotta make this pie. It is fantastic. And it starts by cooking fresh blueberries with sugar and cornstarch to make a jammy base. Add more fresh berries for pops of big flavor. And pipe swirls of the blueberry mixture and fluffy cream cheese to top this pie. So from Cook's Country, a bold, beautiful, heavenly blueberry cream pie.
One of my favorite parts about camping is the gearing up, because you need some specialized equipment like a portable stove, some lightweight cookware, and of course, utensils that you can pack on the go, which is what Adam has here today. And this is beyond the basic old spork. You've got full sets here.
We have everything. You know, these travel utensils and the sporks are kind of making the transition from being just camping or backpacking equipment into purses and briefcases and carry-on bags. They're a great alternative to those really environmentally unfriendly, disposable, single-use utensils that you get with practically every takeout meal. You can just use these instead.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, we have 11 different sets. Some of them, as we said, are 3-piece utensil sets. There's a knife, a fork, and a spoon. Generally, these will be held together by some means, a clip or a lanyard, and or they come in their own case to keep them together and organized. And then there's the single-use, multi-purpose spork. More fun to say.
It is, and it's, you know, it's one instead of three, so it's more efficient.
It's more efficient. You can see that there are different materials. These are stainless steel. This pretty orange one is anodized aluminum. 2 are in titanium.
Wow.
This one in the purple case is wood, and then these 3 at the end are plastic.
Okay.
And the prices range from about $3.50 up to $33.
Okay.
So we had testers try a bunch of different foods with various textures and ingredient sizes with all of these. There were salads with chunky ingredients and leafy ingredients, steak, which they tested the serrations with and the tines, chicken soup, brothy chicken soup, and hard frozen ice cream. And they were, of course, testing every function, the fork, the cutting, the spoon. So first, let's go through the forking function. Why don't you try this one here?
Okay. All right. Well, I can get one thing on there pretty good. Let's see if I want to go for a real mouthful. Oh, no.
Some of our testers actually liken this to shoveling the food.
I really wanted to go in there, but even that's not great.
Why don't you try this one? These tines are a little bit longer and a little bit sharper, and our testers thought that it was easier to grab multiple pieces of salad there.
You can really chow down with this sucker.
Not bad. The spoons had everything to do with the capacity and the depth. If they were too small or too shallow, you couldn't get a lot of a saucy thing like stroganoff or much soup. In terms of the handles, like any flatware, testers were happier when the handles had a little bit of width to them and nice rounded edges so that they were comfortable to hold. They didn't dig into the fingers. Since these are meant to be used on the go and packed up, a small, more compact design is helpful, as is a lightweight. The 3-piece utensil sets usually came with cases that keep them together and neat in transit.
Clean.
One of the abuse tests was to put all of these into a backpack and drop the backpack. And in that test, some of these cases opened and the utensils escaped. So that wasn't ideal. So there were winners in each of the categories. First, let's go for the single-use utensil, the spork, the classic spork. This is the Light My Fire Spork Titanium. It's $24, spoon on one end, fork on the other, serrations. This was good, very compact, very lightweight. If you are more into the full utensil set, the 3-piece utensils, this is the full Windsor Magware magnetic set held together by magnets.
Oh, that's
Look at
cool.
that. The case stayed shut in the abuse test. This was a great set. The most expensive one here, a little bit more than $33. Because of that, the testers also named a Best Buy. That is this one here. This is the Yuko Switch Spork utensil. It's actually not a single utensil, it's 2. It's 2 pieces. So you have a spoon at one end, a knife at the other, a fork at the other end of this, so you can use a knife and fork at once, which is nice. Or you can slide them together like so, and then you have an extra long utensil with a spoon at one end and a fork at the other end. And our testers thought this was great for digging into those backpacking meals that are in really deep pouches. And this guy was $8.
That's great. Thank you, Adam. So if you're gearing up for your next hiking trip or just want to save the environment by carrying your own utensils, check out the Light My Fire Spork made of titanium at $24. Or for the full utensil set, try the full Windsor Magware magnetic set at $33.
Love what you're watching? Take your cooking to the next level with our Essential membership. Get instant access to thousands of recipes, tips, techniques, product reviews, and step-by-step videos. Our members app allows you to search by ingredient, set dietary preferences, and save your favorite recipes. For those looking to level up, our newest feature, ATK Classes, offers more in-depth instruction led by ATK experts, so you can gain greater confidence in the kitchen. Start your free trial by visiting the App Store or going to americastestkitchen.com/YouTube today.
Brining chicken in buttermilk before frying it is a well-loved trick that not only gives the chicken flavor, but it also helps that meat stay moist. Now, I've never heard of brining chicken in iced tea, or more specifically, sweet tea, but it is all the rage, and I'm eager to try it, Bridget.
I love this. This is like the most beautiful collision of 2 of my favorite things. Sweet tea, fried chicken. How much better can it get? And this was developed, or really attributed, to John Fleer, the chef from the Appalachian area. He really has brought mountain food to the forefront. So I love him for that, and I love this recipe. You're gonna like it too. So we gotta start off with tea before we get to the chicken. I've got a quart of boiling water here, just simmering. I'm gonna take it right off the heat. We gotta make some tea. So a quart of water. Now this is 6 family-sized tea bags here. Now if you didn't have family-sized tea bags, each of these is about 4 regular-sized tea bags, single serve. So that's 24 single-serve tea bags, or 6 family size.
Wow.
All right, just gonna put those in there. You want them to be fully submerged. So I'm gonna leave this be here for about 5 minutes. On to the chicken. Chicken thighs. Bone in, skin on. So this is 8 chicken thighs here. They each weigh between 5 to 7 ounces so that they all cook evenly.
That makes sense.
All right, so some of these are good to go, but some of these have a little extra skin. You want to kind of cut away any big globules of fat, but you don't need to do a lot of trimming. So I'm just going to use a knife. All right, so the rest are done. Again, 5 minutes on the tea, and then we'll move on.
Okay.
All right, our concentrated tea mixture is already super dark. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna strain this right into a big old bowl, along with the bags. And I'll go ahead and press just a little bit, just to extract some of that liquid. All right, so while this is hot, this is just a tea, we need to turn this into sweet tea. So we're gonna add a 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. And now we gotta turn the sweet tea into a brine. So this is a 1/4 cup of table salt. I'm also gonna add a little bit of flavor here. This is a tablespoon of grated lemon zest, and then 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. So I'll go ahead and stir this while, again, the tea is nice and hot. But you do wanna make sure that the salt and the sugar is all nice and dissolved. Now we're gonna cool this down because we can't put our chicken in right away. So now the concentrate becomes actual tea. This is another quart of ice water this time. Just gonna stir this until the ice is melted. This is looking good. The bowl feels nice and chilled. I'm gonna add in our chicken. Just submerge it. All right, so this looks great. We're gonna cover this with a little bit of plastic wrap, and then this is going to go into the refrigerator. Now you wanna give it at least 12 hours.
Bridget, you shouldn't have.
Yeah, well, that's what the chicken looks like after you drain it. It's been 12 hours. So the color, unfortunate. We're gonna fix that because we're gonna cover it with fried chicken coating. We are gonna use a little bit of buttermilk to dredge this in first. So this is a cup of buttermilk. Let's talk a little bit about our dry ingredients.
Yeah.
So this is 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour. We want something that's a little crisp and that stays crisp after it's fried. So this is almost an equal amount of cornstarch. So again, 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour and 1.25 cups of cornstarch.
Okay.
So we're gonna use a tablespoon of paprika, and a tablespoon of granulated garlic, and a tablespoon of black pepper.
Oh, dog.
Yeah, it's gonna get you right there.
I love it.
It's pretty spectacular. This is 2 teaspoons of baking powder. That's just going to add a little bit of lift, lighten the coating, and 2 teaspoons of table salt, and 3/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper.
Okay.
Yeah, just whisk this together. Now, you've seen this technique that we've used before. I love it. When you dredge chicken into the dry ingredients, it starts to form these little bits, floury bits in the bottom of the bowl. So we're going to create that from the start with a little bit of water here. This is 3 tablespoons of water. I'm just working it with my fingers to create all these little bits here. All right, so we're going to work with 1 piece of chicken at a time. So take a thigh, dredge it in the buttermilk. All right, and then this goes in. Boom, like that. And I can use this hand to start coating, but I also like to shake the bowl.
Me too.
And create the little tidal wave to get it going. And then I just kind of cover it. Just want to get that really well coated. There we go. And then we're going to put these skin side up on our wire rack that's set over a rimmed baking sheet. Now we're going to continue to do the rest of them. Once they're all breaded, we're going to leave them on this wire rack uncovered, put them in the fridge. You want to leave them in there for a minimum of 30 minutes, maybe up to 2 hours. All right, Julia, it's fry time. I've got my Dutch oven here, 3 quarts of peanut oil. You can use vegetable oil, or you can actually use really good lard because they all have that really good high smoke point. Now we're going to fry these 4 at a time.
Okay.
Let me get them into the oil here. Oh, that's a good sound. Get that in there. So at this point, we're going to leave them in there for 10 minutes. About 5 minutes in, I'm going to flip them over halfway just to make sure that they're browning evenly.
What's in the oil, Bridget? It's murky. I can't see.
It's like the phoenix rising from the ashes.
Holy cow, that's gorgeous.
Isn't that beautiful? Now I'm going to take this over to a paper towel lined rack. There we go. We want to let some of that excess oil drip away. Oh, look at that. Okay, now we do need to let this oil come back up to 325 before we put the remaining 4 in. And we're going to cook those exactly the same way. 10 minutes flipping over halfway. In they go. So these are going to go into a 300-degree oven. Nice moderate heat. Finish cooking them through without coloring the exterior too much. They're going to stay in there anywhere between 10, maybe up to 14 minutes. But really what I'm looking for is an internal temperature in the thighs of about 175 degrees.
Okay. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, you can see that that moderate oven didn't really color it too much more. Now I do need to take the temp. I took it a couple times just to gauge. So if we go right in there. 175, looks great.
That is picture perfect fried chicken, Bridget.
All right, so I'm going to transfer this to a paper towel lined platter.
All right.
10 minutes.
All right.
That's chicken time.
I've been standing here the whole time waiting.
All right, here you go.
Oh, thank you.
We've got a little bit of lemon there if you'd like to squeeze some over your chicken.
I like that idea.
Just to highlight that lemony iced tea flavor.
We doing fork and knife?
I'm just going to, so before I go full animal on this, I am going to kind of cut in there.
Well, I'll just follow your lead.
All right. All right.
That's good. It's not too sweet.
But the tea just gives it
A smoky flavor.
just super warm. Like it tastes like warm spices. But it doesn't taste like any other fried chicken. And the thighs is always the great choice here.
Yeah.
You know?
Bridget, this is delicious. Thank you for showing me how to make it.
You bet.
There you have it. If you want to try sweet tea fried chicken, make a potent sweet tea brine. Fry the chicken at a low temperature and finish cooking it in the oven. From Cook's Country, sweet tea brine fried chicken thighs. You can get this recipe and all the recipes from this season, along with select episodes and our product reviews at our website, cookscountry.com/TV. Oh man.
If you're ready to take your cooking to the next level, head over to americastestkitchen.com and get a free trial of our ATK Essential membership. While you're there, you can sign up for our free email newsletters and download our app. So, what are you waiting for?